Howdy, y'all. I'm just fucking around, and I wanted to show you guys the finished product. Finally got finished with this damn guitar, and I'm pretty stoked on it. I had to do quite a bit. You know, I had to disassemble the old pickguard and rewire everything onto this one so I could put this Seymour Duncan JB that I had from my Fernandez Monterey, and slap that in here, put on another Jack Daniels pick down here to cover up the hole like the other one. And I had a bitch trying to fix the intonation on this thing because, like I told Will Gelvin, I think the Mexicans who built this had tipped back a little bit too much tequila that day, because the fucking intonation on this thing is crap. So I don't know what the fuck the deal is. I've checked everything. Everything is matched up. Everything is just fine. The intonation is just funky on this fucking thing for some reason. So I had to fill the holes and, you know, re-drill the holes a little further back, move the bridge back just a touch, because I couldn't get this saddle back far enough to actually intonate the low E. So I did that once, and the holes weren't lined up. You know, had to re-drill it again. And every time I would go to re-drill the fucking thing, you know, the drill bits would suck into the old holes and shit. And then, you know, try to guide their way through that. So the holes weren't coming in straight. So I was fucking getting pissed. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this. Filled them with JB weld, which is ridiculous. It's like a fucking welding substance, but it's a little mix-up type of goo. And when it sets hard, it's like fucking metal. It's strong as shit. And so I put that in there and re-drilled the holes, put it in, and finally it was good. It's nice and straight. It's lined up. It's actually a little more straight than it was before. And but it, you know, it took a while for it to kind of set in. I had to re-intonate the guitar fucking over and over and over and over and over. I just did it again yesterday, and the intonation was off. I fixed it again, and now it's finally, you know, I think it's pretty much in the clear now. But anyways, and I also finished the neck, the headstock, put on these water slides, fucking first try, like a fucking savage. Put it in first try, and then did the back one too. Got it right in the perfect spot too. It just slid right to the perfect spot. That's what she said. You know you were fucking thinking it too. But I rounded the edges of the headstock and everything to make it look more, you know, like a real nice Fender headstock. And, you know, because these necks, you get them so cheap because they're unfinished, basically. And, you know, rounded off the ends of the frets up here, you know, rolled those, and rolled the edges of the fretboard, actually, too. So it feels fucking awesome now. You know, nice 12-inch radius on this fucking gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous ebony fretboard. I mean, it is the most flawless ebony. Just perfect grain, perfect color throughout. It's incredible how fucking nice a piece of ebony this is. And, you know, got all the decals on and shit, and then sprayed, you know, 3 more coats of nitro. This time I got gloss or semi-gloss nitro, and it looks way better. You know, I kind of wish I would have sprayed the body with semi-gloss, but you know, whatever. I like this anyway too. You know, it's yellowed so much like I thought it would, which I love. And all the relicking I did on it and shit. It's getting some checking, and it's wearing away where I play naturally too, so that's pretty cool. But back of the neck I left bare. You know, it's a nice rub finish, so it's not really finished, you know, it's oil. So it's nice and smooth, you know, doesn't get sticky. You don't get caught up when you're playing. These fucking tuners are awesome. Planet Waves auto trim tuners. Cuts away it takes away the problem of having to fucking cut the strings when you change the strings. And I hate when people have strings hanging off when they change them. It fucking bugs the hell out of me. It looks so cheesy, just shitty. So these, you basically just put the string through, you know, tighten it down, and then start tuning it up, and it just fucking cuts it itself. And the awesome thing is there's no little piece of string hanging up, you know, for you to catch your fucking sleeves on or cut your hands and your fingers and shit. You know, every guitar player has to deal with that kind of shit. These take away that problem. It's just fucking awesome. The only gripe I have about them is the fact that they wind upwards. They basically make you wind upwards. Like, you can't wind downwards because of how the holes are set up. You know, the way they're angled and shit. You just can't. It doesn't make sense. And it affects the break angle of the low E string. I wish I could wind it downwards because it makes the break angle a little bit better, which helps with the tuning stability of the low E string for one, and it also creates a little bit more tension to the string, which I like. But I love the way this looks now, you know, because of I have the graphite saddles, you know, the black, and I have the black screws, black knobs, you know, this pick, whatever. These are, I consider that sort of black, you know. And then the ebony fretboard, black tuners, which I think looks way better than the you know, satin chrome ones that I had with the other neck. I think these look a lot better for this guitar. It kind of does the black-white, you know, sort of scheme that I have going on this guitar. And the bigger headstock, it just fucking looks so much cooler. Like, it fits this guitar amazing. Every time I looked at this guitar, you know, I always saw it with a bigger headstock. I'm like, fuck, I have to get one with a bigger headstock. But it's so hard to find, you know, these necks with bigger headstocks with an actual flatter radius. They always come like 7.5 and 9.5. I want 12-inch radius. It even higher, you know. So like my Jackson has a 16-inch radius, and I'm starting to get used to that kind of feel. But the thinness of that neck is still weird to me. It feels like a fucking noodle. You know, if thin necks like that, I hate them. Like, it's weird. You would think I'd love them because I'm a metal player and shit. And, you know, I don't really have huge hands. They might seem huge, but in comparison to like my size, because I'm a fucking huge dude, my hands aren't that big. So, you would think I would like the thinner necks, but I don't really. Because I'm used to my Fernandez Monterey, which has a really, like, half a baseball bat type of neck. It's not quite like a 58, 59 Gibson Les Paul or anything, but it's substantial. And I like the tone that yields. You know, it's just got a thicker tone. It holds fucking tuning way better, too. So, I don't know. I've always been a fan of kind of chunkier necks. But this neck is pretty much perfect. Like, it just feels like home. It's, I don't know, the shape of this neck is just perfect. It's a nice C shape, and it's just, I don't know, perfectly sized. It's not too thin, it's not too bulky, it's just right. And the way I finished it, it's just nice and smooth. It feels perfect when you're playing. But yeah, like I said, I had to go through the intonation on this thing like a million fucking times, because for one, I had to take the neck off and, you know, paint the heads, do all that kind of shit. So I had the guitar completely pulled apart, you know, re-drilled the holes and shit there. So everything kind of had to set back in, you know. It takes a while for that to do that. So I've been kind of adjusting it, you know, day by day and shit, and I've got it basically where it needs to be. So I'm basically done with this, other than the fact that I really want to change these single coil pickups, because they're noiseless single coils, which means they're stacked, and it just doesn't have the fucking the sound that it just doesn't have the fucking sound that I'm looking for. It doesn't have that top end sparkle, you know what I mean? You know, true single coils, they have the 60 cycle hum, but I can get past that. You know, I have ways of filtering that out and shit. It doesn't really bother me that much. And I just feel like I'm missing that sort of jangle that I want to hear in my head, you know? That Stevie Ray Vaughan tone, you know, his guitar tone is the epitome of the Strat sound to me. That's what a Strat should sound like, is his guitar. So, you know, I want more of that tone. So, you know, I was thinking maybe Texas Special, you know, custom shop Texas Specials. Or, you know, Seymour Duncan has a Texas Hot, you know, set. But there's also a few different kinds of models, like the Antiquities are pretty nice. They have Texas Hot Antiquities too, which would be fucking amazing, but they're expensive as balls. But that's really, you know, my only thing about this guitar that I want to really change. And I'd like to put, you know, like to have a push-pull, you know, coil tap to tap this pickup, so I can make it, you know, sound like a real fucking Strat, you know, single coil Strat. I think that would be nice. I can get semi close to it with this position, you know, the in between these two. It sort of sounds like a standard, you know, like, it sort of sounds like the standard, you know, Strat bridge sound, just the single coil. It doesn't quite sound like the fuck, I forgot his name. The Sultan of Swing, you know, Mark Knopfler. It doesn't really sound like, it doesn't really have that sort of plinky sound that his did. You know, it does a little bit, but it's not the same. It still kind of sounds like just a straight bridge hum or bridge single coil. But yeah, that's my only plans with this guitar. Other than that, I just started messing with a Telecaster body that I've had for a long time. I'm thinking about maybe building a Tele guitar for myself out of that. I have the Strat neck off of this. I have the Tele neck, the Squier Tele neck, but it's a piece of shit. Like, it has little dinky freaking pussy frets and shit on it. And I've never really been a huge fan of the headstock shape of the Telecaster. I like the Strat headstock, and I've always thought a Telecaster would look way cooler with like a standard Fender Strat headstock, you know, instead of the big one, because they have tellies. The thin line tellies have the big headstock like this, but to see a telly with a regular Stratocaster headstock, I don't know. It seems cooler to me. So I might do that. For that, you know, all I really need to do, I have to drill through the body to make it a string through, because I don't like top load guitars. You know, Les Pauls and shit, yeah, fine, whatever. But with a telly, when it's just like straight on the bridge, nah, I don't know. It's not right to me. It doesn't have the break angle for it to kind of have that sort of feel that a Les Paul has. It's just different. It just feels different. It just sounds different. I don't like it. So I like string through bodies. You know, I like it to resonate through the fucking guitar. So I'm going to drill through the back of it and, you know, put some studs into it so I can string through it. Get a different bridge that I can string through, just a bridge plate. Maybe a whole bridge. I don't know. And, you know, maybe a pair of twisted telly pickups, you know? Or maybe like a Seymour Duncan quarter pounder in the bridge and a twisted telly neck pickup. I want it to be like a more traditional style telly, you know what I mean? Like I want it to sound like a fucking real telly instead of, you know, like a hot rod like this thing. I was planning on making another Strat, you know, building another Strat with that neck and shit, just getting a different body and things, and, you know, building a Strat that's more of a traditional Strat with all single coils and shit. But I was thinking, well, you know, I have the Strat. If I change the pickups on this to get the sound that I actually want, I won't necessarily need the other Strat, especially if I have the coil tap too, so I can make it sound like a real Strat. So maybe I'll just make the fucking Telecaster. I had this Telecaster body laying around for a long time. It's just sitting around, shitty Squire. Some dude gave me to fix like a million years ago and never fucking got it back because I never fixed it or something. I don't even know what happened with that. Dude just kind of disappeared and left me the guitar. So I'm gonna knock all the shitty, you know, shitty paint and stuff off of it. It's got this nasty red paint. It's got a bunch of dings and stuff, but I don't know. You know, I'll work my magic on it and maybe it'll turn out fucking badass like this. I don't know. But that's not like really anytime soon. I'm kind of tight on money right now, so you know, that'll be down the road. That's just my plans. Other than that, I really need to go back into talking about guitar picks, because I've got infinitely more guitar picks than I did the last time. And I know a lot of people don't, you know, pay a whole lot of attention to, you know, those videos, but I really wish they would, because there's a million different things you can do with different kinds of picks if you just change, you know, the size of pick that you use or the material that you're using. A lot of people, you know, will spend a shitload of money on different pedals and different guitars and different pickups and things like that. And a lot of the time you can change the fucking tone with just changing the pick. And so I've tried all these different types of picks. I've been searching and searching for every type of material I can get. All the shapes and sizes and different things that I can get my hands on these picks, and try to find every kind that I can to try to test out and see what kind of different sounds you can get. And so I want to kind of put that out there for people so they don't have to do the same thing I have with like going insane with picks. You know, ever since I bumped up in size with the picks, because I used to play with those 0.6 Tortex picks, the orange picks, that was all I ever played with. Didn't play with anything else, would not play with anything else. And then once I bumped up in size, it kind of opened up my mind to different kinds of picks, because a lot of like custom picks and nicer designer picks and things like that are heavy picks. And I could only play with the thinner picks. Now I'm used to a heavier pick, and I realize you could get way better tone with heavier picks because you can dig in better, and there's more, I don't know how to explain it. Like, the string glides over the pick a lot easier when it's a little heavier, and you don't have to use so much of the pick, you know. It's just, you got barely the tip going, and it just, I don't know, it changes your dynamics and changes everything about your playing. And it opened up a new world of different picks to me, and I've been trying all these different picks, and you know, I found out a lot about different tones and things, like especially in the studio, having just a bunch of different types of picks to use for different things. Like, you know, jazz picks are great for soloing, you know, there's just a million different applications you can use these different picks in and get all sorts of different characteristics and tones. And people don't think about that kind of shit. You know, that's what I noticed. People don't watch a whole lot of my old videos, and it's like, you know, I wish people would realize that picks are a lot fucking cooler than people think. You know, they think it's just a pick, it's boring. Not really. Like, there's a lot of shit you can do with different picks. So, stay tuned for that. Hopefully I'll be able to do that pretty soon. I'm still waiting on a couple orders of picks, so kind of fucking pissed they didn't get here today. I was hoping they would get here today, but they didn't, so figured I'd just do a video to get you guys something, get an update of what's going on, and show you the Strat and where it's at right now. So basically the plan is I want to change these, but it won't be, you know, anytime really soon or anything. But other than that, this guitar is tits. It's fucking awesome. I love it. So rock on, people.